From an 800-year-old cemetery where a protective ghost was seen, to the soldiers who died in the battlefield, here are some of the most haunting ghostly encounters caught on camera in cemeteries. In 2018, Tony Ferguson, a fitness trainer in Ealinghans, had a chilling encounter with a ghost. Fortunately, he managed to capture the incident on camera. Let's take a closer look. According to Tony, on that day, he decided to explore an 800-year-old graveyard known for its haunted stories. Despite the significant age difference between him and the cemetery, one would think it would be a warning to steer clear of such tales. However, being an adventurous urban explorer, Tony couldn't resist the allure. As he wandered through the cemetery located just behind St. Mary's Church in the same city, he claimed to have encountered a spirit. It may sound like a scene from a horror movie, but the footage he captured showed a smoky white mist swiftly passing by the camera. Upon reviewing the clip in slow motion, Tony concluded that the ghost was a protective entity, as he believed it played a role in ensuring his survival. If the first video didn't send shivers down your spine, brace yourself for the impending terror that will leave you trembling in fear. Let's delve into the events of 2018 with a hushed tone. During that year, a witness named Wise of Pharaoh embarked on a historical excursion to burial grounds alongside others who shared his interest. Their initial destination was St. James Cemetery in Merseyside, Liverpool. Little did they know that this visit would be their final one. Based on the information I could gather, it became apparent that the unsettling incident occurred mere minutes into the trip. Wise of Pharaoh witnessed something that sent shivers down the spines of everyone present. The evidence she captured is the very footage you are currently observing. Within the video, a faint and eerie figure can be seen casually strolling amidst the gravestones, as if assuring a protective role. Eyewitnesses claim that the figure appeared to be clad in plate armor, commonly worn by soldiers during the 17th century Civil War era. Despite scientists refuting the notion, many individuals maintain a belief that the deceased occasionally visit our realm. If we were to consider the authenticity of a particular video recorded in 2018, there might be some merit to their claims. This video was initially uploaded to a YouTube channel owned by an individual known as the Slum Chemist. Within the video, he narrated an account of how he and his companions ventured into a cemetery during the late hours of the night. However, they encountered more than they bargained for when the tombstones before them began to emit an eerie glow. Initially attributing it to the reflection of their car's headlights, they decided to continue their exploration. At 1:11 in the video, one of them casually tossed a can across the cemetery, and that's when something unexpected occurred. Out of thin air, a black shadow materialized, appearing disturbed by their presence and the disruption they caused. Predictably, many individuals dismiss the shadow as a mere insect. However, some argue that it appeared too large to be a mere bug. Consequently, they contend that it is a malevolent spirit from the afterlife. In 2018, a couple from Ohio embarked on a vacation to the historically significant Savannah, Georgia, accompanied by their teenage son, who carried a camcorder to document their experiences. However, it was during their visit to the Colonial Park Cemetery, which dates back to 1750 and contains over 9,000 graves, that the story took a chilling turn. What the teenager captured on his camera that day left everyone feeling unsettled and puzzled researchers for a decade. According to the boy's account, as he was using the zoom function on his camera to observe the graves, he noticed a small child running in the distance. You can also see this in the circled part of the video. Initially, he assumed the child belonged to another family who was also touring the cemetery, which notably includes a mass grave for victims of yellow fever. However, he soon realized that the child appeared pale and ghostly, chasing after a shadowy figure of a woman. Moments later, the child inexplicably leaped into a tree and vanished from sight. In August 2018, an intriguing sighting on Google Street View captured the attention of many, an apparent ghostly presence. Surprisingly, not just one, but two apparitions were observed during a user's attempt to locate something in the vicinity of Martha Chapel Cemetery in Texas. The video you are currently viewing is derived from that specific Google Street View clip. Pay close attention to the tree on your right. Can you spot an eerie glimpse of a little girl peeking from behind it? This caught everyone's attention initially, but it became even more unsettling when her pallid complexion came into focus. It begs the question, what would a lone little girl be doing in the woods? According to the intrigue, another figure shrouded in a cloak emerged among the gravestones in the distance. Some argue that this serves as irrefutable evidence of a ghostly presence, while others dismiss it as a mere leaf. Regardless, I will leave it to your discernment to determine the validity of the situation. Now let's move on to today's highlight, an image that may seem like an obvious fabrication at first glance. Let's explore whether you agree with the prevailing majority or propose an alternative explanation. The chain of events began when a family discovered that someone was pilfering the toy left at their son's headstone. In response, they strategically positioned a camera nearby. However, instead of capturing a thief, the camera revealed the presence of a little girl who initially seemed lost. Intriguingly, when they showed the footage to the cemetery worker, it became evident that the girl bore a striking resemblance to the deceased Fabiola Rodriguez. Prior to this incident, Fabiola's mother had informed the cemetery staff about a similar occurrence involving her daughter's grave. When she viewed the footage, she became convinced that the girl captured on video was indeed her own child. Now, I'm curious to know your perspective on this apparent evidence of ghosts. Contrary to what may initially appear, this image is far from being edited or manipulated. This was the assertion made by a photographer named Rob Crabtree in an interview with the Sun newspaper on October 25, 2018. On that particular day, Rob and his team of ghost hunters, led by Pauline Day, were conducting an exploration of a cemetery located at the Todmorden Unitarian Church in West Yorkshire. According to their account, they were drawn to a specific grave among the hundreds present, guided by the fluctuations of their electric energy meters. These meters serve as magnetic detectors used to locate signs of paranormal activity, or more simply put, ghosts. However, as they approached this particular grave, their meters began to malfunction unpredictably. Suddenly, an enigmatic mist materialized, seemingly out of thin air, gradually taking the form of an older woman who appeared to be clenching her fist right before their eyes. The grave in question reportedly belongs to Sarah Agnes, a 50-year-old woman who passed away in 1927 and was buried alongside her husband, James Davenport, in the same plot. The team firmly believed that the apparition they witnessed was that of Sarah Agnes. Personally, I find myself aligning with those who perceive this experience as a product of their imagination. What are your thoughts on the matter? Prepare yourself for the final video, as it surpasses the previous ones and will leave you screaming. Ensure you're fully prepared for what lies ahead. Considering that battlefields serve as the final resting places for countless souls, imbued with the essence of their blood, sweat, and bones, it's not unreasonable to deem them as unique graveyards. Personally, I would say yes. Speaking of battlefields, one notable example is the Gettysburg battlefield in Pennsylvania, a significant hotspot of the Civil War. According to Greg, during a family trip to Gettysburg, his dashcam inadvertently captured not just one but two apparitions. If you observe more attentively, you can perceive them discreetly concealed near the Toe Canyon, away from the light. However, as some skeptics argue, appearances can be deceiving in this era of Photoshop. They claim that the figures in the video are merely water droplets on the camera, playing tricks on our understanding of Gettysburg's history. Personally, I must disagree, as those two figures appear to be far from ordinary water droplets. After witnessing this footage, do you find yourself believing in the existence of ghosts?